Have you ever lain in bed exhausted? Lights off, phone finally put away, only to feel your mind speed up instead of slowing down? Have you ever watched the ceiling in the dark, asking yourself, why is my body tired but my heart is wide awake? Replaying everything I regret and everything I fear about tomorrow. Welcome back to the channel. My friend, if you are listening to this because your nights have become battles instead of rest, I am really glad you are here. Tonight we are going to talk about something that sounds almost too simple to be true, using a single sacred name, an ancient phrase of remembrance and devotion, as a way to calm your racing thoughts and gently fall asleep with peace. This is not about forcing yourself to sleep, not about pills, not about distracting yourself with more noise. It is about learning to turn your mind toward something so steady, so compassionate, and so timeless that your worries slowly loosen their grip. In the teaching that inspired this sharing, there is a very beautiful idea: if you can bring the name of awakening to your lips as you fall asleep, if you can let it be the last sound in your mind before you drift off, then even your sleep becomes part of your practice. Your dreams become lighter, your fears soften, and your destiny quietly shifts. Because even in the hours when you are not consciously in control, your heart is leaning toward wisdom, compassion, and awakening. Maybe you hear this and think, that sounds nice, but you do not know my mind at night. The moment I lie down, it becomes a wild horse. It runs through old memories, future scenarios, regrets, fantasies. I try to stop it and it gets worse. I try to distract it with my phone and suddenly, it is 3 in the morning. How can repeating a name possibly help with all that? So, in this long, story-based conversation, I want to walk with you slowly. We will talk about why nights can become such fertile ground for overthinking, especially for people who care about spirituality. We will talk about the hidden karmic reasons behind racing thoughts and insomnia. We will explore how a simple practice of reciting the Buddha's name, or any sacred name you trust, can become like a soft lamp in the darkness of your mind. We will tell stories of people who tried this out of desperation and discovered that it was not superstition, but precise training of awareness, karma, compassion, practice, and destiny. And as we go, I invite you to imagine doing this practice yourself tonight, not as a theory but as an experiment with your own heart. Let us begin with a very honest picture of night. During the day, many of us move through life on momentum. We wake up, grab our phones, answer messages, rush to work or school, juggle tasks, talk, listen, complain, laugh. Even if we think we are tired, our mind is constantly pulled outward by demands. There is little room for deep reflection. But when night comes, when the lights go off, when the body lies down, something different happens. The outer world goes quiet. The inner world finally has space to speak. All the thoughts and emotions you pushed aside during the day line up at the door of your awareness. Regret knocks, fear knocks, loneliness knocks, unfinished business knocks. If you do not have a way to meet these visitors, they storm in. Your mind becomes a crowded room. You toss and turn, not because the bed is uncomfortable, but because you are lying on a mattress made of your own unresolved stories. For people who are trying to follow a spiritual path, this can feel even more intense. During the day, you might read scriptures, listen to talks, try to be kind and patient. At night, you suddenly see how far you still are from your ideals. You remember the harsh words you said, the impatience you showed, the things you still cling to. Shame and doubt can join the party. So what do many of us do? We reach for distraction. We turn on a video, scroll through social media, play games, read endless news. For a little while, it seems like the thoughts are gone. But really, we have just turned up the volume of external noise so we cannot hear them. When we finally put the phone down, they are still waiting. Sometimes they are even louder. This is where a very old, very simple method comes in replacing the restless, scattered inner talk with one clear, steady phrase. In many traditions, that phrase is the name of a Buddha, awakened figure, a form of ultimate compassion and wisdom. For example, some people repeat the name of Amitabha Buddha. Others recite the name of the one who embodies infinite compassion. The exact form is less important than the function you give your mind a safe, luminous object to rest on. Think of your mind at night as a restless child. If you just shout at the child, "Stop thinking. Stop running. Go to sleep," it tends to get more agitated. If you hand the child a small, comforting object and whisper a gentle lullaby, the child slowly relaxes. In this practice, the sacred name is that lullaby. But there is something deeper happening than just soothing. When you repeat this name, especially if you have faith in its meaning, you are redirecting your karma. You are choosing, in the most vulnerable hours of your day, to point your heart toward awakening rather than toward confusion. Even if you fall asleep in the middle of reciting, the last imprint left in your consciousness is not fear or regret. It is remembrance of wisdom and compassion. Let us ground this in a story. Imagine a woman named Emily. She has been interested in spiritual practice for a few years. She tries to meditate, reads about karma and awakening, goes to a temple once in a while. On the outside, her life looks stable, a decent job, a small apartment, some friends. But at night, she has a secret struggle. She cannot sleep. It started during a stressful period at work. She lay awake thinking about projects, deadlines, what her boss thought of her. After that period passed, the habit remained. Now, even on quiet days, her mind treats bedtime as overthinking time. She goes to bed at 11 but often falls asleep after 2 or 3 in the morning. She tries many things: herbal teas, warm milk, breathing exercises, soft music. Sometimes they help a little, sometimes not at all. She is too stubborn to take sleeping pills regularly. She fears dependence and side effects. One evening, after yet another restless night, she sits in a small temple during her lunch break. Exhausted, a kind old practitioner notices her tired eyes and asks gently, "Do you have trouble sleeping?" She laughs bitterly. "Every night, my brain will not stop. It is like the more I try to sleep, the more awake it becomes." The old practitioner nods as if this is the most familiar thing in the world. Then he says, "Have you tried falling asleep while reciting the Buddha's name?" Emily tilts her head. "Is that not disrespectful? I thought you are supposed to recite with full attention. If I fall asleep, is that not rude?" He smiles. "If your intention is to run away from practice, then yes, that is careless. But if your intention is to entrust your restless mind to the Buddha, to let the name accompany you into sleep, that is not disrespect. That is trust. You can spend hours lying awake thinking about problems. Why not try spending that time repeating something that brings peace instead?" He explains a simple method. When you lie down at night, turn off your phone, dim the lights, and settle your body. Then, instead of letting your thoughts roam free, gently bring your attention to your breath and begin to recite the Buddha's name out loud or silently. Match the rhythm of the recitation with the rhythm of your breathing. When your mind wanders, do not fight it. Just return to the name. Do this until you fall asleep. If you wake up in the night, continue. He adds one more important point. Before you start, make a small intention. Something like, "Tonight I recite this name not only for myself, but for all beings who cannot sleep because of fear, pain, or worry. May we all find peace." That way, your recitation becomes an act of compassion, not just self-rescue. Emily leaves the temple half skeptical, half hopeful. That night, after dragging herself through another long day, she gets ready for bed. She looks at her phone and feels the familiar urge to check it one more time. Then she remembers the practitioner's words and, with some effort, puts the phone face down on the table. She lies down, turns off the light, and begins tentatively. She chooses to repeat Namo Amitabha Buddha because that is the name she has heard most often. Out loud feels a bit strange in her small apartment, so she whispers it for a while, then moves into silent recitation. At first, her mind rebels. Thoughts jump in between the words. I am doing this wrong. This is silly. Tomorrow's meeting. That thing I said. What if this does not work? But each time, she tries to gently bring her attention back to the name, like bringing a wandering puppy back to its mat. After 10 minutes, she feels a subtle shift. The thoughts are still there, but they seem slightly farther away, as if wrapped in cotton. The name becomes like an anchor. She keeps going, not counting, just following a soft rhythm. At some point, she falls asleep. In the morning, she realizes something unusual, although she still woke up a few times during the night. Each time she unconsciously resumed the recitation, and each time she fell back asleep faster than usual. She does not feel perfectly rested, but she feels more stable. There is a different taste to her sleep, like someone held her hand through the dark. Encouraged, she continues this practice night after night. There are evenings when it is easy and evenings when her mind is particularly wild. But gradually, she notices changes. The time between lying down and falling asleep shortens. The intensity of her late-night worry decreases. Sometimes she even has dreams where she is reciting with a group of practitioners, or where she feels surrounded by a gentle light. More importantly, something shifts in her daytime life. She is a little less reactive, a little less anxious. When stressful situations arise, the name she repeats at night sometimes pops up in her mind like a quiet friend, reminding her to breathe and respond with clarity instead of panic. One day, in a conversation with the old practitioner, she says, I think this practice saved my night. He smiles and answers, perhaps it is also saving your days. What is actually happening here? Beneath the surface, from the perspective of modern psychology, you could say that she is using a mantra as a focus object, training her attention, reducing rumination, and creating a positive association between the sacred name and sleep. But from the perspective of karma and awakening, something more mysterious and beautiful is happening. Every thought leaves a trace. Every night of restless worry plants seeds of fear and dissatisfaction in the field of your mind. Over years, these seeds grow into habits of anxiety that can shape not only your sleep, but your whole way of reacting to life. When you deliberately replace those restless thoughts with the repetition of a name associated with infinite compassion and wisdom, you are planting different seeds. You are saying to your own mind, I know you are afraid, but let us rest in something bigger than our fears. And if you believe that consciousness continues beyond this single lifetime, then falling asleep with the Buddha's name in your heart takes on even more significance. Sleep is sometimes compared to a small rehearsal for death, the moment when the conscious mind lets go and the deeper layers of the mind stream carry on. If you practice aligning that stream with awakening every night, you are training yourself for the ultimate letting go, so that when your last breath comes, your first instinct is not panic, but remembrance. Let us explore another story from a different angle. There is a middle-aged man. Let us call him David. He has practiced spiritual teachings for some years, but he has a heavy burden: guilt. He did some things in his past that he deeply regrets. He hurt people he loved, made choices out of selfishness and fear. Now he is trying to live differently, but at night, the old memories return like ghosts. He lies in bed and his mind replays scenes: the argument where he shouted cruel words, the deal where he cheated someone, the moment he turned away when he should have helped. Each replay is painful. He tosses and turns, whispering apologies into the dark, but the scenes keep coming. One day, a friend suggests a practice. When the memories arise, instead of just drowning in shame, try reciting the Buddha's name with the intention of repentance and transformation. Imagine that with each repetition, you are sending light into those past scenes. acknowledging your mistakes and offering them to be purified. At first, this sounds too abstract to him, but after one particularly brutal night, he decides to try. He lies down. The familiar movie of his past begins to play. His chest tightens. The urge to escape rises. Instead of fighting or indulging it, he begins to recite softly, Namo Amitabha Buddha. He does not use the name to push the memories away. He lets them appear, but he overlays them with the sound of the name. When he sees his younger self making a hurtful choice, he whispers in his heart, I see you. I was ignorant and selfish then. I regret it. May this name help heal the harm I have caused. Something unexpected happens. The scenes remain painful, but they are no longer purely tormenting. They become opportunities. Each one is like a wound being washed with medicine. Sometimes it stings. Sometimes it brings relief. Over many nights, as he continues this, the sharp edges of the memories begin to soften. He still remembers them, but they no longer control him. He stops whipping himself endlessly and starts asking, how can I live differently now? How can I use my life to repay the harm I have done? In the daytime, he becomes more compassionate toward others who are making mistakes. Because he knows how long it can take to change, he volunteers, donates, supports, not out of performative guilt but out of a desire to align his actions with the compassionate energy he touches in the mantra. For him, reciting the Buddha's name at night is not only a sleep aid. It is a deep practice of repentance, healing, and reorienting his destiny. Now, perhaps you are listening and thinking, this all sounds very devotional, very emotional. What if I do not have that kind of faith? Can this practice still help me? Here is something important to understand. Faith is not an on or off switch. It is more like a muscle or a plant. It can be small at first, but it grows with experience. You do not need to start with unshakable belief in Buddha's pure lens or mysterious powers. You can start with a simple experiment. Instead of spending an hour worrying or scrolling, I will spend that hour reciting a name that represents something higher than my ego. I will watch honestly what happens in my body and mind. In other words, you can approach this as spiritual science. You are the laboratory. The mantra is the tool. Your insomnia and thoughts are the data. Over weeks, you can observe the results. If you see that your sleep improves, your mind calms, your behavior shifts, then your faith will naturally deepen. Not because someone told you to believe, but because you saw something with your own eyes. Meanwhile, there are a few practical tips that can make this night recitation practice more effective. 1. Prepare the conditions. If you spend the last hour before bed stimulating your brain with intense videos or arguments online, it will be harder to settle. Try creating a small ritual instead. Dim the lights. Put your phone away. Maybe light a candle safely. Read a page or two of a wisdom teaching, and then lie down to recite. This signals to your body and mind that it is time to shift from outer activity to inner rest. 2. Use your breath as an ally. You can coordinate the recitation with your inhalation and exhalation. For example, mentally say Namo on the inhale and Iti Abba Buddha on the exhale, or any division that feels natural. The point is to weave breath and name into one continuous flow, so your mind has less space to get lost in stray thoughts. 3. Be gentle with yourself. Some nights you will drift in and out of recitation. Some nights you will forget, remember, and forget again. Do not use this as another reason to criticize yourself. Each time you notice you have wandered and come back to the name, that is a victory. That is the watching mind we talked about in another video, quietly strengthening. 4. Clarify your intention often. Do not reduce the practice to a mere sleep trick. Before you begin, remind yourself, I recite this name to plant seeds of awakening, to align my life with compassion, to share whatever peace I gain with all beings. This brings depth and dignity to your recitation. It also helps transform your insomnia from a pure burden into an invitation to practice. 5. If you can, create a small physical focus, a simple image, a bead bracelet, or just your own hands joined together before you lie down. Touch it, look at it, and then recite. The body remembers these gestures. Over time, they themselves become signals to relax into the name. Let us imagine another character, someone more skeptical. Her name is Lisa. She comes from a secular background, trusts science, and is wary of anything that smells like superstition. She struggles with insomnia too. But when someone suggests chanting a Buddha's name, she wrinkles her nose. That is not for me. She thinks, I would rather use breathing exercises. But one day, she reads a description of name recitation that frames it in very simple terms, focusing the mind, slowing the breath, replacing harmful thought patterns with wholesome ones. She realizes that, in function, it is not so different from the mindfulness practices she already respects. The only difference is that instead of focusing on the breath or a neutral word, you focus on a name that carries centuries of meaning and aspirational energy. She decides to try it experimentally, thinking, even if I do not hold the same beliefs, maybe there is value in connecting my mind to a symbol of compassion at night. The first week, she feels awkward. Her tongue stumbles over the words. She keeps thinking, this is strange. But she notices something interesting when she repeats the name. Her breath naturally deepens. Her muscles relax. Her mind feels less lonely. Instead of lying in bed as an isolated, anxious individual, she feels vaguely connected to everyone who has ever recited these syllables. This sense of belonging and continuity itself eases some of her tension. She still wakes up sometimes, but her frustration decreases. She feels less like a victim of insomnia and more like a practitioner using insomnia as a training ground. Over time, she might or might not adopt the full belief system behind the practice, but either way, she gained something: a simple, portable method to soothe her mind. One that costs nothing and can be done anytime, anywhere. So, whether your faith is strong, shaky, or still awakening, the practice has room for you. It adapts to your current depth. Now, I want to speak about something more subtle: the connection between what you fall asleep with and the kind of person you become over years. Many people fall asleep every night with their mind full of resentment, envy, fantasy, or simple numb distraction. They replay arguments, imagine revenge, scroll through images of other people's lives with hidden bitterness, or just drown in meaningless noise. If you repeat this for thousands of nights, what kind of character are you quietly building? On the other hand, imagine falling asleep every night with your last conscious act being remembering the presence of an enlightened being, wishing for all beings to be free from suffering, confessing your mistakes honestly, and reciting a name that represents pure compassion. If you repeat this for thousands of nights, what kind of character are you quietly building? Life is not only shaped by big dramatic events. It is shaped by what you do regularly when no one is watching. Night recitation is exactly that: a private, gentle, persistent shaping of your inner world. One day, perhaps years from now, something difficult will happen: a serious illness, a betrayal, a loss, a big change. You will feel pain like anyone else. But if you have spent years falling asleep with the Buddha's name, your first spontaneous response might be different from what it would otherwise be. Instead of collapsing immediately into hopelessness, part of you may instinctively turn toward the name, toward trust, toward the bigger picture of karma and awakening. That reflex is not created in a day. It is built night after night. Of course, some people worry: if I fall asleep while reciting, is that not disrespectful? Should I sit up properly instead, and only lie down after I finish a fixed number? There is nothing wrong with sitting practice. It is very important, but night recitation has its own flavor. Think of it like this: a small child often falls asleep while a parent is still whispering stories or soothing words. Does the parent feel disrespected? No. The parent is glad the child could rest. If the Buddha, or whatever representation of ultimate wisdom and compassion you relate to, is like a parent, then falling asleep in the middle of calling their name is not an insult. It is a sign of trust. You are, in a sense, falling asleep in their lap. What would be disrespectful is to recite mindlessly while intentionally indulging in harmful thoughts, or to recite only to demand stuff without any willingness to change your own behavior. But falling asleep because your tired mind has finally relaxed while resting on the name that is tender, not rude. There is one more dimension I want to mention: the link between night recitation and dreams. Many practitioners over time report that when they gently fill their mind with the Buddha's name before sleep, their dreams change. Sometimes they dream of being in temples, hearing teachings, meeting spiritual friends or guides. Sometimes their usual nightmare themes chasing, falling, losing things become a bit softer, or transform in interesting ways. From a strictly psychological view, this makes sense. You are feeding different content into your subconscious before sleep, so your dreams echo that. From a spiritual view, some people understand this as subtle connections with more awakened realms, or with aspects of their own deeper wisdom. Whatever your interpretation, the key point is this: when your last thoughts before sleep are rooted in awakening, your inner world during sleep is more likely to be guided by that same energy. We can imagine a young student, Mark, who always dreamed of exams and failures. Every night he would dream of missing tests, forgetting answers, disappointing his parents. After he began reciting the Buddha's name before sleep, the first week his dreams became even more vivid. He felt like his subconscious was protesting, but he persisted. Around the third week, something shifted. He still dreamed of exams, but in some dreams, he would suddenly remember, "I can recite the Buddha's name." He would begin reciting even inside the dream. The fear in the dream would lessen. He would wake up feeling strangely strengthened. This kind of dream rehearsal builds confidence in the waking state too. He begins to realize that even under stress, he has a tool, a friend, a reliable anchor. So, insomnia and restless nights, which once seemed only like curses, can become fields where you plant seeds of courage and trust. As we come closer to the end of this sharing, I want to gently turn toward you. Tonight, when you lie down, you will once again face that familiar crossroads. You can go down the road you have walked many times, phone in hand, scrolling until your eyes ache, thoughts running freely, sleep coming late and shallow. Or you can try a different road, put the phone away a little earlier, lie on your back or side, take a few slow breaths, and begin softly repeating a name that represents everything you truly long for: wisdom, safety. You do not have to do it perfectly. You do not have to stop all thoughts. You do not have to feel holy. You only have to be willing to give your mind something better than its usual diet of worry. You might say, "I will try this for 7 nights, or 21 nights, or 1 month, and honestly watch the effects." Let your own experience be your teacher. If, after some time, you find that your nights feel different, that you fall asleep more gently, that your heart feels less alone in the dark, that your days carry a bit more calm, then you will know that this ancient, simple method is not just comforting words. It is a real practice that rewires your mind and reshapes your karma. And if there are nights when it is hard, when your thoughts roar and your recitation feels weak, remember those are exactly the nights when this practice matters most. Anyone can be peaceful when they are not troubled. The real training is staying with the name when you are afraid, ashamed, or full of doubt. You might whisper in your heart, "I am anxious, but I still recite. I am restless, but I still recite. I am full of thoughts, but I still recite. I offer this messy mind, just as it is." No matter how angled your past, no matter how heavy your worries, every repetition of the name is like a step on a path out of the dark forest. The path might be long. You might walk slowly. But you are no longer walking in circles. Now I would love to hear from you. Have you ever tried reciting a sacred name, a mantra, or a short prayer at night to help you sleep? How did it feel? Did your dreams or your mood change? If you have not tried but are considering it after listening to this, what is your biggest question or hesitation? If you feel comfortable, share your experiences and reflections in the comments. Your story might be exactly what someone on the other side of the world needs to hear at 3 in the morning when they feel alone and hopeless. They might read your words and think, maybe I can try this too. If this long, gentle conversation has given you even a little comfort or a practical method to try tonight, I invite you to support this channel. You can subscribe so you do not miss future videos about awakening, wisdom, karma, compassion, practice, and destiny. You can like this video so that more sleepless hearts can find it. You can leave a comment to join this circle of practice and encouragement. And if you feel called to support more deeply, you can consider becoming a member. That kind of support helps us keep creating long, carefully crafted content that does not just entertain for a moment, but walks with you through many nights and many seasons of your inner journey. Thank you for staying with me until the end. May your nights gradually become softer. May your pillow be a little lighter, your thoughts a little gentler. May the sacred name you choose become a bridge between your fear and your courage, between your confusion and your awakening. And may you fall asleep each night knowing that even in the dark, you are walking step by step toward a clearer, kinder, more peaceful destiny.
There are moments when you see something and your heart simply whispers, "This one is meant for me." Bracelet carries more than beads. It carries intention, protection, and quiet strength. Something to guide your thoughts and keep your spirit steady. If you felt that gentle pull toward any of the bracelets shown, the purchase link is waiting in the description, and the full collection is displayed on our channel store. Follow your intuition. It rarely leads you wrong.